I do have a very similar feeling about
Yeah.
that where I work because it seems like
Oh, I didn't even share shit around, man. Maybe I should go.
it seems like the
Hey, y'all, it's the
leadership,
pre-show.
the
We're
management
talking about
leadership
work.
at work where I work,
Yeah.
it's very like if you come up with ideas like, well, why don't you take the lead on that? Or it's like if you come up with something and you like it'll if you come up
Yeah, it's weird.
if
Take
you
the
come
lead
up with
on that.
something, yeah, you take the lead on that. Or management is like very hands off, like hey,
Yeah.
there's an issue that we've been trying to resolve,
I'm
and
trying to share this damn shit out.
and it just and it's like
Yeah.
you show them what the problem is, and you
Well,
say,
enough
well,
about work.
the maintenance
Enough
man
about work.
says this is acceptable. Does this look acceptable to you? And it's like, well,
Right.
I'm sorry
Right.
you're experiencing that. It's
Yeah,
I don't know,
it's wild, dude.
but
Well,
but
enough
my
about fucking work.
my really terrible statement that I'm going to make is that
Oh,
perhaps we
don't do
should
that.
stop
Don't do
fast
that.
tracking veterans for leadership positions, because just because you were in the service doesn't mean that you're a good leader.
Oh my God. Yeah, don't say that at work.
Why?
Anyway, hey everybody, it's the pre-show where we talk about what we're gonna do a show. It's been a
I mean,
terrible, terrible week. A
I
terrible,
mean,
terrible week
I
for
mean,
news, for comics, for
for
everything.
hell, yeah, we're living in a hell world
The worst
dystopian
timeline. The
future.
worst timeline.
Yes, we are in the worst timeline.
That's fine. Oh, look who's here. Hey T, what's up, man? I was
Oh, I'm
sharing out the
doing
show.
well.
Sorry.
Yeah, and I was just listening to David's hot takes there.
Hot takes on employment. Hey everybody. It's
Well,
been a
I have
weird.
some other hot takes if you
Let's
want.
not. Let's fucking not.
That's enough for
It's
now. I
been
mean,
a
I don't
terrible
necessarily
day,
disagree with you, but yeah,
right?
Oh, really? I
It's been a
appreciate that, Taylor.
it's been a terrible news week.
Oh yeah,
I'm not even going to cover it
it's
in
the
the
dumpster
pre-show.
fire that has
It is
become
the dumpster fire.
our social media outlet.
Comic Comics weren't that great either this week.
No, comics
But
weren't
I
that
found a
great.
couple of good ones.
I did find something. I shared
Anybody
it with
else
you
got
guys.
anything you want to talk about? You know what it was good for this week? Movies. Okay? We got Ant-Man. We got more Wakanda. We got all kinds of shit happening over at DC. Black Adam taking a second week. Finally got somebody in charge over there, James Gunn, along with a corporate dude,
along with some other guy. I feel bad for that other guy because all anyone's talking about is James Gunn.
Well, that dude's going to be the guy laid back in the cut. He's the business end
Hey, I
business
mean,
end of this
yeah,
thing.
true. I
He
mean,
got a hell of a resume, though, man.
if he
That
ain't
dude-
out there to be making the headlines, I guess he's in a pretty sweet position for
Well,
sure.
there's
Yeah.
two guys. There's two guys that run Trauma Studios, and we only know of Marty Kaufman.
Yeah, because he's like the creative kind of guy.
Well, I'm sure
Yeah,
we'll
he's the
talk about
great-
the DC news soon, so I guess let's.
Oh, we're not talking about Henry Cavill. No.
No, I meant the James Gunn thing.
Well, no, that's not on our news for this week. No.
What?
Yeah, that's like yeah, whatever. Yeah, happy day for Halloween. All
That seems
Hallows
like a pretty
Eve.
big deal to me. I mean,
Death.
happy Halloween, Annie.
Yeah, Day of Death, Hell Day, Hell Night. I know, but we usually just focus on the comic shit, so we can talk about that now. I mean, it's a great idea. They finally have somebody in charge. That's
James Gunn knows how to make movies. Does he
Unlike
know how
Zack
to be a
Snyder.
studio boss? I don't know, but I am intrigued by the news. I think this could definitely be. It's hard to see things going in a worse direction for DC movies. So yeah, I definitely think that this is a welcome change.
It's the only way but up.
Well, I mean, and we say that if you look at the work that they've done, Peacemaker on TV was awesome.
Yeah.
Peacemaker,
I mean, yeah, that was
stuff
probably
was good.
That was probably a little unfair that I said that just now because, like, lately they have been better. I mean, ever since we've gotten away from the Snyderverse stuff. I mean,
I never minded the Snyderverse. I know it's a topic that people don't like to talk about, but I never minded the Snyderverse ever.
Batman versus Superman was bad. It was just outrageously bad.
But
Man of Steel was a weird take on Superman. I don't mind it so much, but yeah, I can definitely, like, any of the complaints you can make about, like, this really isn't Superman, I feel like those are valid.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but I mean, the comics give us a dozen different versions of Superman all the time,
Not very many that would just break a dude's neck.
No.
Let's not go there. Let's not rehash that.
Well, sure. But
in terms of DC going in a direction, okay? You look at what Marvel does. Like, oh, here's our next 10 fucking projects for the next 5 years, You look at DC, it doesn't seem like they have a plan. In order to have a plan, you got to have a planner. They have a planner now.
Yeah, that's probably
That's
the
the
best
first
change
step.
here, for sure.
That's
Yeah.
the first step.
But and also it's worth pointing out that James Gunn has made the only DC movie that I would consider like on par with the best Marvel
Suicide
movies.
Squad.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that is the only one that's like legitimately a great movie.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah. I like it a lot. I like the other Suicide Squad movie. I don't have a problem
You
with
are
the DC
wrong
universe.
about that, but agree to disagree.
I don't have a problem with the DC universe movies
It has
at
been
all.
poorly received, regardless of your
Oh,
personal
for sure,
take on it.
for sure.
They definitely have been losing the zeitgeist to Marvel for a while, and this is probably, I don't know if this can turn that around, but
It's a good direction.
It's a welcome change, and I also, it's kind of wholesome to see like James Gunn be like, yeah, first person I called was Kevin Feige. Love that guy.
Yeah, well, I had to. He's my boss, so I had to tell him that I got another job.
Well, I think he was pretty much.
TMZ.
I think he was pretty much done with Marvel after Guardians 3. So
yeah, and that's done.
This definitely confirms that. Yeah.
Well, exactly. He still has to do all the work for that. You know, the post work, the promos and shit like that.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, half the work for the director is after the cameras stop rolling. You know.
Yeah, I think that's another kind of good strategy angle for DC because he's not going to be able to hit a red carpet or an interview without them also asking about his new job at Warner Brothers. Everybody's going to ask him about that. So it's going to still make news. You know what I mean? So strategically, it's a good idea to get James Gunn. He's hot, especially in this subgenre right now. But I think the best news is they got another guy to go with him, a guy who's on the business end, you know, a Feige.
Yeah.
Feige is a gem, okay? He's unique. He not only has that business side, that's where he comes from, but he's legitimately a fan of these characters and stories from the Marvel universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's a good call to like tag team the business and creative sides of this formula, you know?
Yeah. All right, let's do this shit. Again, it is a terrible week of news and comics for that matter. It's showtime. Happy Halloween again, everybody.
That was a good Halloween
Thank
intro.
you. Better than the Purge one from last week. I love the Purge movies so much.
You can't go
movies
wrong
are
with a
great,
Tim Burton movie for Halloween.
That's right. But
Beetlejuice is classic.
Classic. We should do another one.
Do you have the dance music
Greetings, another episode of this Geek and Comics Outbreak Geekeries comic book shit talk show.
Shit talk show.
Gomer Taylor, aka David. I meant to mention in pre-show, probably no show tomorrow night. I'll let you guys know real early. You know, you guys co-host.
Well, I'll probably be trick or treating with my nephew.
Yeah, so let's just say it now. No
out candy.
Yeah, no
children.
show tomorrow for the holiday.
That's true. I mean, you can get your house egged if you don't pass out the candy.
That's right. You guys have any traditions or anything that you guys do on Halloween? Anything special? Just hand out candy. You know, kick it.
Well, when I was
That's what we
younger.
When I was younger, I went around begging for candy
Teenagers.
with a special code word.
I've never had a specific tradition, but like, you know,
Yeah.
it's a time of the year where you're in the mood for like, you know, watch some scary movies and you know.
We've been doing that all month.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
All right. Segment 1. Speaking of scary stuff, on Netflix, there is a new 8-episode anthology horror called Cabinet of Curiosities from Guillermo del Toro, motherfucker. It's awesome.
Of course it is. It's Guillermo del Toro.
Oh my god, dude, it's so good. Del Toro.
He introduces, not go wrong.
He introduces each episode like a Rod Serling type fucking thing,
Hitchcock.
and it's just like Hitchcock. Yeah, I do full size candy bars too, Andy. I do too.
Andy's
fine.
popular with the neighborhood kids, I bet.
The thing about it is you end up giving 3 or 4 of the small ones away, and it depends on how many trick-or-treaters you get. Like we have 40 full-size candy bars, and we got them for 75 cents a piece. So I thought we did pretty good. You know, 75 cents per kid. I think that's okay for Halloween. I understand
it's not
you
bad
can't
at
go
all.
all out, but we're going all out. But anyway, Cabinet of Curiosities, very well done. 8 different stories, all kinds of great creators on that thing. Fucking awesome thing. Still behind on Andor, still behind on Rings of Power. I have no time to catch up. And it's horror movie season. November will be my catch-up month.
I haven't actually watched this week's Andor. I'm probably gonna double dip for the episode 8 and 9 this week.
Andy chimed in halfway through Cabinet of Curiosity. So far, so good, man.
I did watch Andor because I figured you guys would want to talk about it.
We never talk about it, so I've learned that I don't need to be up to date on it.
I want to wait, man. It's such a slow burn. I feel like I kind of wasted an hour. You know what I mean? Not wasted, but it's like, man, nothing fucking happened. Nothing happened, and I'm
they
not
definitely
talking shit
build
on the
up
slow burn,
to big things for sure. Like
yeah.
sudden explosions of action.
Did you guys do anything cool this week? Watch anything fun?
Oh, what was it I did?
You don't know?
I'm trying. I've done a lot of things this week.
Well, for D&D this week, I had all the players fight like slasher movie villains, so that was kind of fun.
Was this like in your ongoing campaign, or did you do like a side thing?
It was part of the ongoing campaign. They like recently pissed off some nobles, so like I was like, oh well, this could be a fun way to do it. And then he just like summoned a bunch of he summoned like Jason and Freddy and Leatherface, and they all went and attacked the party.
I can imagine a scene where he's like Darth Vader on the scene of the ship, and he's got all the bounty hunters.
Right.
No, that would have been a good way to do it, but yeah,
fun. Dave, did you remember what you did?
Well, I there were several Kickstarters I supported this week.
Oh, here we go.
There was a Monty Python Holy Grail RPG.
Fun.
Isn't that just like D&D, but like stupider?
Yeah, with personality.
Yeah, there was that. There was also a really cool Kickstarter for a miniatures game called Gaslands.
Okay, fun.
Which it's mostly STL files for weapons, because Gaslands you take Hot Wheels and you turn them into Mad Max killing machines.
Oh, dope! That's fun.
So there are little cottage industries in Etsy and on Kickstarter where they for like super cheap you can get
the 3D files, the
STL files to print like machine guns, missile launchers, and all kinds of wacky weapons for.
Dude, that is
for
dope.
That. And I had a Kickstarter from last year finally come in. The Duncan Rhodes Painting Academy launched its line of paints called Two Thin Coats, and I got my Kickstarter pledge for it this week.
Fun. Look, I found Power Stone for Dreamcast this week.
Dreamcast.
Yeah. Well, that's a classic console and a classic game for it.
Yeah, I have a bunch of Dreamcasts in storage. I got to pull them out and see if they actually work. But yeah, it's a clean disc. I have Marvel vs. Capcom 2 hanging around here somewhere. But
you could probably sell that for a good amount.
Power Stone goes for
an underrated
pretty good
console.
amount.
Yeah, no doubt it.
Yeah. All right, let's do news.
The Dreamcast had some problems for sure. I mean, we kind of look at it with rose-colored glasses nowadays. But
it was still rad. It was.
It was. It absolutely was rad. But it's one of those things where you love it, warts and all, not necessarily like this pristine, perfect thing that we seem to remember it as.
It did have its issues, but it was also like one of the earliest consoles to offer like online.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's true. In a lot of ways, it was ahead of the game, but there were some poor like formatting and like hardware design choices that went into it too. But
all right, news. Batman has. You can smell like Batman. Batman smells. Jingle bells.
What did Batman just smell like? You know,
leather.
Sweaty leather. Yeah.
House of Sludge.
What's my name? What's my name?
And they're like, oh, you smell great. If you're ever curious about what Batman smells like, they've created a fragrance. It's called the Batman Vengeance.
So I noticed that this is the Batman, so I'm presuming this is like supposed to be a tie-in for that movie that came out like 7 months ago. It seems like they're kind of late to the game here.
Well, they're doing a sequel.
Sure,
so
but
maybe they're ahead of the game. Maybe
then they're either really early or they're really late. I feel like you release this while one of the movies is out, you know?
Maybe they know it's going to take you that long to save up the $400 that is in the limited edition.
I thought you were about to say that it'll take you that long to get through the movie, which is kind of also true.
Right.
I was about to ask.
I like it a lot, but you feel every minute of that 3-hour runtime.
Yeah, you feel every minute. I'm not going to buy it, Batman. Yeah, I'm not buying this Batman. It smells like a bergamot. bergamot, Bergamot. I've never heard that word.
That's too fancy a word for us, Gomer.
Cardamom and tonka beans. I don't know what any of that shit smells
Cardamom
like.
is a spice you use in Indian food.
Okay,
know
well,
what any of that
you got a
smells like.
third of the smell then, Dave. You're ahead of the rest of us.
Yeah. It also has heart notes and bass notes, which I think is perfume language. $300 just for the bottle of cologne, but again, there is a $400 like whole set you can get that has crystals and shit on it, like collector's
Man,
edition.
Who
If
is
you just
this
want
for?
that candle,
I mean,
candle is $60.
I feel
This is
like
for a fucking collector, okay? This is for the Batman fan
because
who has everything.
I feel like anyone who would actually like want to get like a $300 thing of perfume would also find it tacky for it to be like a tie-in for a superhero movie.
Yeah. I don't know. All right, let's get on to some real comic news. Demon Wars, Peach Momoko's epic continues. February, Phoenix versus Magic in Demon Wars. What the fuck's it called? The Iron Samurai. No, that's not right. Shield of Justice. No, Down in Flames. Sorry. Those are the other two that are coming out.
The previous one was like the Iron Samurai or something, right?
Yeah,
Whatever.
that's available now. November 16th, Shield of Justice comes out, and now they have another one called Down in Flames that will drop on February 1st. And yeah, it's all about the Phoenix.
This has officially gotten difficult to like keep track of like the order of books
The omnibus is going to be dope.
Each individual issue is like a new title, it seems. With that being said, this thing has been pretty rad, and yeah, it'll be cool to read like front to back like this. But I love that take on the Phoenix. That looks cool as hell.
It is really fun. If you don't know, Momoko is of Japanese descent, and she includes all of these Japanese like mythologies.
Yeah,
and
like
shit.
Yokoi and stuff.
Yeah, into her writing, and twist that into a mishmash with Marvel Comics. So, yeah, always down with that. It's really fun. There you go. That's that. Update: X-23 Deadly Genesis. We talked about this news coming out of New York Comic Con. Erica Schultz and Edgar Salazar are writing this. It comes out March 8th.
Wow, that looks like one of like her earlier appearances in NYX.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, it's come out that this is it takes place in her early days. It's not her like going back to the old identity.
That is the news that is part of this segment, and that's why the news is terrible this week. This actually happens during the Utopia period in the X-Men, which was okay. Utopia was fun. I didn't mind that at all.
I barely remember that, honestly.
So
I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's just an era. That's just what they call it, like an era. It'll find X-23 targeted for revenge by an iconic Marvel Comics supervillain, who still to be named, and an all-new foe with a personal vendetta against Laura that's so extreme they may end up becoming her new arch nemesis. So we're talking Sabretooth level. Awesome. I'm stoked. We get this cool Kalman Androfsky cover, but Mike Choi also gets a cover. I really like that Mike Choi cover. That is very nice. Yeah, really fun shadowing there in the background. But there you go. We said we'd update it when we had the update, and now we have the update. We only have one more bit of news, and it's kind of depressing. Vaughn and Staples Saga is coming back in 2023. That is not the bad news. The bad news is this book that has been $2.99 since it was first published way, way, way too long ago. Will jump to $3.99 along with every other comic book on the shelf.
Well, damn, I'm off this damn book.
Yeah, nobody's leaving this book. They can make this $6 an issue, and people are like, "I gotta read Saga."
I mean, I hate to say it because I don't want to give any ideas, but honestly, we're lucky that it's just $4.99.
Yeah, we were lucky that it was $2.99 for so long. It was really a fun thing they did when they brought
fun
it
while
back.
it lasted.
Well, the first arc, it was really nice that they decided to make it just $3, for the first arc.
Yeah.
After their big return. So, man, I love that cover so much. That book is so dope.
Yeah, the most recent volume did finally come out. So, yeah. It continues to be really good. They didn't really miss a beat coming off of the hiatus. So, yeah, I mean, good shit.
Yeah, really good shit. And that's the end of our comic news. Hopefully we have more next week, y'all. But
well, we should talk briefly about the Ant-Man trailer.
Quantumania looks awesome. Now, the problem I have with the trailer is from the beginning, we knew that this movie was going to be Ant-Man and the Wasp, the old man, his old lady, kicking it, and his daughter too, maybe, kicking it in the quantum realm. That's with Kang. We've known this since the movie was announced. That's all we got from this trailer. Literally. That's all we got from this trailer. There's really nothing to talk about that hasn't already been said about
That's
this
fair
movie.
enough, but I do appreciate like when they don't just give away the whole goddamn plot. So there is something to be said for just giving away something that we basically already knew. You're right.
Oh,
but hey,
100%. Yeah.
We do officially have Jonathan Majors as
shit.
Kang, you know.
And Marvel ain't got to do shit. They put out a trailer because that's what they're supposed to do. They don't have to promote these fucking movies.
It's still like
they don't have to promote these movies
4 or
anymore.
5 months away. I mean, happy birthday to me.
There's a damn another MCU movie coming out way before that one, and we've gotten so much fucking footage. That's like a week away, right?
Yeah.
A week from this Friday.
Yeah, man, that's very close.
Or Thursday if you want to, get out for the early
Wednesday, even your early preview nights.
Yeah, getting overwhelmingly glowing reviews from the people who went to the premiere.
Everybody is adoring this movie. I'm like, holy shit! And Coogler's fucking awesome, dude. So
I mean, he is
going to be amazing.
He's an amazing director, and that's the kind of guy you want handling such a difficult situation that they found themselves in.
Oh, for sure. He himself had probably the most difficult job in movies, for the past few years. How do you come up with a sequel to a movie that was as good as it was with everything that happened?
The specific wording I saw was that this is one of the most quote unquote powerful movies that they've made so far.
That's dope. And the first one was powerful as fuck.
It was, yeah. I mean, the first one is...
it was hard for me to disagree with Killmonger. I'm still not sure I disagree with
Killmonger. Is arguably the best villain they fielded so far. Yeah. At least he's the one that gets you thinking the most. At least,
Zemo had a good angle.
There's a lot of villains I like. Like Zemo is a lot of fun. Zemo is arguably the most successful Marvel villain. He is
for sure.
2 for 2 on getting everything he wanted in both of his appearances.
Yeah. Well, Thanos did really well too.
Thanos did really well. He did great.
He ended up losing. Yeah.
He did, but Thanos coming out after they built him up for so long that he didn't fall flat. That was pretty impressive.
Right.
And of course, you'll always like Loki, although he hardly counts as a villain these days.
Yeah, and Wanda too. If you want to lean into the trauma shit, I mean, she's a great villain, dude, because she's kind of like a villain that you can understand. That's the problem with Marvel, and they're like, "Oh, Marvel has a villain problem." Marvel ain't got a villain problem. Marvel got a people problem, right? People aren't willing to see these villains as villains. They relate to them more than they relate to the heroes.
I mean, God,
Of course you do. Of course you do.
How many people were pining for Tom Hiddleston? Hey, I get it. Tom Hiddleston is
he's
hot stuff.
As hell.
Yeah,
but I think that leads me back to our original discussion of Quantumania. Will Kang break this mold and actually be a villain where you're like, oh, no fucking way? No, I 100% disagree with what this person is doing and his methods and his methodology and the reasoning he's doing it. You know what I mean?
Jonathan Majors in that one episode of Loki where the whole episode was just him chewing the scenery. It has got me, it has got me chomping at the bit to see him in action here.
And he looks great. The blue face mask. They made that geeky, dumb Kang look.
Yeah, and I will say that is something that the trailer did accomplish. Is it really created some cool imagery for the quantum realm. So I'm definitely looking
100%.
Forward to them doing all that stuff.
Dave, any comment on Quantumania? How about the haircut? I'm always a fan of the haircuts. Finally, a haircut for a woman in the MCU that works. Okay, if you're fighting and you're having, all this action,
finally addressing the real issues here.
Hair should be short. Okay, you don't want anyone to grab, Black Widow getting her bangs caught. And
now I did like the Black Widow haircut from the second Captain America movie.
Oh, with the two-tone? Oh, no. Where she got just the flat.
When it was the straight hair.
The straight hair. I like that.
Yeah. She had bangs in that, no?
Yeah. But that was a good that was a good look for her.
Bangs? I'm a fan of the Iron Man 2. Wasn't it Iron Man 2? Her original debut. Oh, you can't be that. With the curls and the body. Yeah, that's my favorite. But still, very impractical. Okay, for crime fighting. Just saying, superheroing, you need to have it high and tight. High and tight. Let's do
Hope
food.
Ben finally, getting that right.
Let's do food.
Yummy.
Food is dumb this week too. Just stupid. I only have one, and it's Pandora Flakes. Okay? Thank you, Dave. All right, so it looks like Tony the Tiger had a board meeting. James Cameron was there, and he's like, well, Captain Crunch does owe me one, so let me see if I can get a couple of truckloads of berries, blue crunch berries. And yeah, we'll call them fucking Pandora Flakes. Tony the Tiger looks like he's about to just take over all of the Na'vi, just like those damn soldiers. He looks like he's on the wrong side of
honestly,
history here.
all the Pandora stuff is barely registering with me. I just can't get over Tony posing like this.
I mean, look at him. He's like, eat cereal, bitch. Like, what, Tony? Calm down. It's just cereal.
Do this cross promotion kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
Man, honestly,
it's exploitation.
I will say that I kind of forgot this movie was coming out so soon, so at least it's got me thinking about it again. So mission accomplished on that front.
3 hours long.
3 hour tour.
It's gonna be 3 hours of Avatar, dude.
Man, I'm sure it'll be very pretty, but
I don't mind the first Avatar movie. Again, it's like the first. It's fine for me.
It is fine. I don't have a lot to say about it. It's just the plot itself is forgettable. The spectacle of it, I think, holds up reasonably well, but it's no longer just knocking your socks off with the tech.
Right? We've been there. We've done that. Okay, you did it. Are you gonna do it again? Okay, great. But you've already done it.
James Cameron's biggest flaw is the fact that he doesn't capitalize on his own success.
Yeah, sugar. I love sugar. I will probably try these, if my wife finds them, if the amazing Amanda finds them. They are hitting shelves exclusively at Target this October, and then at retailers nationwide in November. $5 for 10 ounce, $6 for 16 ounce. Avatar: The Way of Water is a Christmas blockbuster, hits December 16th from Disney.
I will say that it's weird that they have non-flakes in the Frosted Flakes,
Well, it's flakes though. Oh, I see what you
round.
mean. They got berries too.
Yeah,
too.
they're the round, the puff type thing.
They're calling them blue moons.
They should have just gone with Lucky Charms.
My Lucky Charms, and then blue people on dragons come and rip the fucking dude to shreds.
Is one of the Na'vi gonna come and hijack Tony the Tiger here? Is he gonna be riding into battle with one of these blue people?
Tony looks swole as fuck here. He really does.
Hey, Tony the Tiger has always been in great shape.
He is in. That's what happens when you eat sugar cereal all the time.
We don't forget about his partner. We've all forgotten about his partner.
He doesn't have a partner.
Are you going to talk about that stupid Grinch meme?
No. When Tony the Tiger was first introduced, he had a companion.
I legitimately
did Yogi
not
Bear,
know
like
this.
Yogi Bear.
He had a companion. There was a companion cereal to Frosted Flakes, and the mascot for it was a kangaroo.
This is all news to me. I had never heard of this before.
Yeah, Dave really up on his cereal lore. Let's do top 3. Man, what a turd alert. We have to.
It was a pretty lackluster week.
It was a shit week. I'll go first. Vanish number 2, because I don't think Dave's going to mention it. Are you going to mention it, Dave?
Oh, yeah, I was going to mention
Okay, I'll skip it. I will say I think this is going to get mentioned too, but my mention is for different reasons. Axe number 6, Judgment Day number 6, Kieran Gillen, Valerio Schiti. I'm really happy this is over. This is a bad event that tried so hard to be
it kind of makes my top 3 by default.
Yeah,
it probably would not have been
shit this week.
It probably would not have been a top 3 book most weeks. I did enjoy it though, so that's.
Man, this book tried to be so hard to be deep, but it just ended up being like this shallow philosophical mess. And way worse, it was just boring.
I'm still stuck on you
Slow
think
Dead
this
Week,
was boring,
100%.
but you're excited by
At
Dark
least there are
Crisis.
people showing up that I am interested in. JSA, Legion of Doom. I like those folks.
Yeah, they
you know
sure
what
are.
I mean?
They sure are
But
talking
they ain't
about
doing
doing
shit.
stuff.
You're right.
Yeah.
They're not doing anything. So, but my actual honest to goodness honorable mention this week is a book that Dave may have picked up, but Lovesick #1, Luana Vecchio. This book is fucking nuts. I'm not even gonna talk about anything going on in the book. I'm gonna read the solicit. The Lovesick Club is an exclusive subscribers only site on the dark web that offers the best in erotic and ultra violent entertainment. There, matriarch Domino and her fellow dominatrixes punish and torture none other than their own loyal subscribers, many of whom pay good money to meet their end by her hand in front of a large audience. But, and this is when it gets fucking nuts, okay? In the eyes of her rage-filled haters, Domino is the mother demon, a deranged succubus who oppresses men by turning them into her slaves. For this crime against men, she must be hunted down and punished. It's fucking nuts, dude. I mean, I'm not even sure. It's like down with the patriarchy, like hard. And it does not hold back any punches. There is a lot of violence and gore. It's perfect. It's a great book.
It's a great book.
Really good book.
Actually, it's my #1.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Dude, that's awesome. Well, we'll talk more about it in a bit then. My #3, Exterminator's #3, Leia Williams, Carlos C. Gomez. Not as good as the first issue by far. Still solid. Any other week, this likely would not have made my list. But on a subpar wins like this, it was an easy addition.
It kind of makes my #1 just by default.
I know, dude. It's a weird week, man.
This was fun, though. This was a lot of fun.
It's Boom Boom, Jubilee, Dazzler, and Wolverine in a magic-y vampire mess. Just looking fucking amazing. Just so hot. Fashion, blood, violence, and just kicking a whole lot of ass.
Yeah, I really thought it has a good sense of humor to it, too.
Yes,
because, I like, you know,
it's tongue-in-cheek.
Looks like they're all ready to, like, square off with Wolverine, and they're like, oh, no, I'm not sure if we can... Oh, hey, guys. And I'm just like, I love how they, like, subverted the trope, you know, like...
And I think it was Boom who says, oh, my God, they made you wear that. And she's just wearing her regular costume. You know, just
Boom Boom's such a bitch. Oh, my God.
She's my favorite, dude. I have such a crush on Boom Boom.
Well, she's a fun bitch.
She's so fun. And she's an alcoholic. You know she's having a good time.
Yeah, she is just... She is really trashy fun in a lot of ways.
Yeah, so trash. Oh, we're getting good spam comments on YouTube, y'all.
Hell yeah.
Yay.
Taylor.
Hot girls.
I'll do an honorable mention for Strange Academy Finals #1.
It was okay.
It was fine. I appreciate the long art. I would appreciate the long game for this book, though, because we've kind of gotten to the point where our POV character is the bad guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Weird.
Like, normally when, like, they do that, it feels like trite, but it feels like they did it right here. They plotted it out pretty well. Like, we can see the steps that she took to get here, and it's a good read, like, taken in total. Each individual issue usually is not enough to, like, knock your socks off, but I appreciate, like, the slow burn and, like, the build up, and just... This particular issue is mostly just setting up for more shit later, but...
Yeah, I like how it touched on a lot of the characters. It was almost like a primer kind of issue. It gave you some of the ins and outs that you need to enjoy the book. Wanda Maximoff was dope in this. I love her whenever she shows up in something like this. But yeah, solid issue.
My #3, I guess, is just going to be Axe #6.
Blam. Sorry, I can't help it.
This was easily the better of the two events from this summer, and we're just going to disagree about.
I'm fine with that.
It's fine. It's fine. We're looking at a screen. Hey, that's
they
cool.
are both subpar.
I would agree that neither of these are going to stand out, but at least here, I do appreciate like the look inside of the characters. You know, especially as they're being judged. I like hearing Gillen's writing when he's writing for like the internal monologues of all like the. Well, I guess it's actually just all like the progenitor's internal monologue, but when he's like speaking in behalf of the normal people all around,
Oh,
right?
that got me too. They turned it around where everybody was judging the progenitor, and the progenitor was like, "Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe I am a douchebag." And it's just
Yeah.
like,
It did feel a
really?
little rushed,
That's
like what,
the
like making
end?
him do his like heel turn. But it was as good a way to end it as you could really come
Oh,
up
for
with.
sure. And it was more about the journey than the destination
Yeah,
here.
no, I appreciated
But
all
yeah,
that. I think that it did enough to like have actual consequences, and I really enjoyed when he was writing it really well. This was a very well written event, but not necessarily a well plotted one, if that makes
thank you.
sense.
That's a good way to put it. And it does sort of set up things for the future. I think it's really good timing that Avengers is kind of wrapping up now, because that's a
Yeah.
really good idea. We don't need to live in the progenitor anymore. It's kind of life altering for the Eternals. You know what I mean? A lot of
Yeah,
fucking
their
shit has
status
happened
quo
for that
is
Eternals book. They're
definitely the
out
most
too.
changed here. Yeah.
They're out and worse than the X-Men in the context of
Like
resurrection.
their immortality has a sacrifice
Cost.
required, and now everybody knows
Exactly,
it.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for the X-Men, ain't a goddamn thing changed. As far as I know, Arakko is now back to exactly the way it was before Uranos went and did his shit. Am I wrong?
They didn't show that, but
They
yeah, probably.
alluded to it. There is
Well, I
another
guess does
issue.
this mean that they resurrected Magneto?
Booyah! That's what I'm thinking too. All of that shit that happened will be completely erased, and I'm okay with that. I am okay with this event not impacting the X-Men at all, and I will talk about that in a moment. But there is another bookend issue to this. It's an Omega or whatever that comes out
That's where
next
they'll
week,
probably
maybe.
answer those questions,
Yes,
like what happened on Arakko and stuff like
exactly.
that.
And we're gonna read it. We're gonna fucking read it. So
Yeah.
it don't matter.
But yeah, so
Go
most
ahead.
weeks this would not make my top 3, but it does this week.
Yeah. Either way, it would have gotten an honorable mention, I'm sure, because it's
Yeah.
an event at Marvel.
I enjoyed it. I did enjoy the event, but it's probably not going to rank too highly in like my events list or whatever.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Big D, honorable mentions, top 3
Alrighty.
or number 3.
Honorable mentions this week. Sins of the Black Flamingo number 5 wraps up very
I
nicely.
totally missed that book this week again. Fuck.
Just the whole story
You
wraps up.
fool.
They get it over on the Nazi demon guy. The angel gets sent
Nice.
back to heaven.
Man, that book, I've only heard it from your descriptions, Dave.
It sounds
like
dope,
such a
doesn't it?
trip.
It is
Yeah.
a trip, dude. And
The
it's
Nazi
so
demon
horny.
guy.
And it's so hot and horny. It's so fun, man.
There's a lot going on, but they wrap it up very nicely and leave it open for a follow up. So I'm tickled with that.
Nice.
My other honorable mention this week is Human Target number 8.
Nice.
That made my number 2, just again kind of by default.
Nice. Well, we'll get back to that then, Dave, because I didn't read it. You and Taylor can talk about it in a minute.
Well, I enjoyed it.
You can talk about it in a minute.
Yeah. But my number 3 book this week is going to be Vanish number 2.
Not bad issue. And more people should be talking about this because it involved 9/11 and like the magic folks from the magic realm
they
go
made
on
the
a
plane
field trip.
disappear for the first plane to strike the towers disappears, but they let the second plane hit and all kinds of stuff. And he's going through and kind of visiting like this very. He looks like Dave Navarro. Kind of looking character.
I don't know if that's what they're going for or not. Andy asking saying goodbye, Black Flamingo. There will be a follow up. I guarantee you.
They left it open for a follow up.
Yeah.
But he's Oliver is kind of going through visiting other magic users, telling them that the Hollows are back, and it's just trying to get the band back together. Maybe I don't know.
Donny Cates is a slow burner here. This book is driven by the Ryan Stegman art.
Yeah,
100%, no denying it. Some weird world building with that whole 9/11 thing.
Yeah, it is.
But that's Cates.
But
that's
I like.
Cates.
I do like the fact that the superheroes in this world are all magic users, and they're the bad guys.
And they're all the bad. And well, they're not bad guys in the sense of they're like bad guys. They're more like the boys in the team in the boys. They're doing superhero shit, but at what cost?
They're kind of Thunderbolty.
Sure, that's a good one. But again, Cates needs to give us more on that. He's really slow burning this book. That's okay. Crossover wasn't nearly as slow burny as this. It hit every issue we got to hit. This one not so much. But it's still okay. That comes over to me. My number 2 this week, Wolverine number 26, Ben Percy, and oh my gosh, Juan Jose fucking Rip, one of my all-time favorite. Finally, the events are over, and Wolverine is just back to doing what he does best, over-the-top action. It's back to that weird-ass auction and the auctioneer that we had from a couple of arcs ago when there weren't
It's been a
events
minute
getting in
since
the
they
middle.
touched on that.
Yeah. Jeff Bannister's back, that CIA agent. It's just really nice for this book to be back to doing what I enjoy it for doing. And
definitely a lot of cool, like, it was smart of them to include this training segment in the middle of it because it was mostly just like teeing up stuff to come here.
Yep.
But man,
Where
what
Beast
a
is a
fucking
douchebag.
bastard Beast has become here.
Beast is a really fun character in the Krakoan Age because this is what actual CIA sort of people do, right? And it's really fun how this book, Ben Percy, finally getting it back around to showing you, no, CIA agents are Jeff fucking Bannister. You know, he's just a dude laying back in the cut, loving him with his daughter, spraying the hose on his face, drinking a beer in the backyard. You know what I mean? He's just a normal dude.
Yeah, that's
Beast
like
is a fucking monster.
Yeah.
Beast is a fucking monster. Yeah.
Facilitating the collapse of societies and countries.
Yeah.
I mean, here he's sicking them on a bunch of people because they may become a threat, you know, and Wolverine's really not having it.
Yeah. And it's so cool. It's just really fun. And I love this team. Domino, Omega Red, Deadpool, Wolverine, Black Tom in the cut. It's just really good, dude. So much fun. So much fun. I love how he has the 63 because that's the year that X-Men debuted, 1963.
Oh, that's a good pull.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else caught that. You know me. I always catch that little shit. I'm always
I should know by now to, like, whenever they, like, pull a numbers anywhere on the page, I should look into it, but I never think to.
Graffiti in the background, you know, shit like that. I'm always.
Well, you got to be careful with that graffiti in the background. Sometimes the artist tries to sneak in. God, that seems so long ago now.
It
that
was,
X-Men
but
Red stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, Yi keeping that shit in style. So moving on, Taylor. Number 2 book of the week.
My number 2 book this week was The Human Target number 8. So we can talk about it now, Dave, you impatient fool.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's Gomer's being an asshole. But
I am.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. This is another one where it's kind of like a body of work pick for me because this is mostly just him getting interrogated by Rocket Red, who is a character that I had completely forgotten existed.
I had to look this character up because I was thinking like this was Deadshot for some reason, and it's not. I was like, but yeah,
not everyone on the Justice League International is stuck around, I guess. But yeah,
this is dealing with the consequences of the last issue where pretty much they ice Guy Gardner.
That was a couple of issues ago now. Yeah. But yeah, that seems like what the back half of the book is more going to be about because he thinks he solved it. I think he actually hasn't, but he thinks he solved the whole poisoning thing in the last issue. Yeah. But it's something that fascinates me about this book is like our human target, Christopher Chase here. He is not really a good guy. He's kind of an asshole. Yeah. And it's kind of interesting seeing the perspective of like this guy who he's very suave. He's very competent. And it's kind of cool to see him like make his way out of problems when he's just like a normal ass dude and he's having to deal with superheroes. But he really is just kind of a bastard. And like seeing him.
All Tom King leading men are?
Not necessarily. Like, I don't think Miracle Man was a...
Vision was Miracle Man cocksucker in that.
Or Mr. Miracle.
Yeah. Vision was an asshole in that.
Vision had his downsides, but, like, not like this. Here, like, in Strange Adventures, also, we find out that Adam Strange was a real piece of shit, but yeah, lately, honestly, yes, they've been bastards.
Had his moments. Mr. Miracle had his moments.
He did have his moments, but...
And I'm not dogging him. I'm just saying, I mean, it just seems weird that Tom King, everybody, all his leading men are just
But yeah, like, well, thinking this is modeled off of like a noir style movie, and that is definitely the pedigree here, right? Because like if you think back to like those old like Chris Marlowe or like the old like the Maltese Falcon with Humphrey Bogart and things like that, those guys were kind of bastards too. But there is something really fascinating about watching like a skeezy guy kind of worm his way through the odds, you know? And so that book is really delivering this like hard-boiled noir type of
Nice
detective story, and I do like it a lot.
And that's what you were supposed to get from this. That's how it was,
Yeah, mission accomplished.
Promoed. Yeah, that's how it's promised. So, D number two.
Number two is gonna be
We forgot.
Damn Them All.
I hated this. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh, I love this.
I hated this. It was too much for me.
It's not a week without Gomer just shitting all over something David picked.
Well,
go ahead.
Simon Spurrier writes good like horror, but this is not necessarily horror. But there's a supernatural element to it.
It is not horror.
And how do you explain like the
don't know
spirit thing showing up and all that?
I mean, there's definitely some supernatural.
It's happening in New Orleans, of all places.
There's definitely some supernatural shit going on.
There is supernatural,
but I didn't find any of it scary. I found this to be more of like a critique on modern day society with supernatural elements, and I just didn't like it. Simon Spurrier is such a drag. He hates everybody. He has got such a terrible outlook on life and society, and you can tell that by reading a lot of them. I
read a lot of Simon Spurrier.
Yeah,
so.
I know. But Andy loved it. Andy chimed in the chat. He loved this book.
But Charlie Allard is back in the art saddle again, and that was what really sold me on this book.
Yeah, no, the art was great.
The art was top notch. The art was beautiful. It was reminiscent of the Walking Dead days, man.
Well, it's Charlie Adler,
that's
what he's known for.
But he hasn't done any artwork since the Walking Dead went belly up.
Right. Well, no, it didn't go belly up. He made his money.
He made his money, but they ended it abruptly when they.
Right.
I don't even know where the show's going now. They've got some new variant super zombie or something now.
Yeah, I don't even watch it.
I don't know. Rick's coming back.
But with this book, it just wasn't for me. It was good. This book is not for me.
I liked it. It's it's a book that I would pick up, just check out. And I think I'm going to keep going with it. I mean,
nice.
I like those supernatural stories. I like those supernatural horror stories.
Yeah.
And the fact that you got the guy from The Walking Dead doing supernatural stuff is a real good selling point for me.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. This book's gonna hit. Well, I think it already has. I think it's going back for a second printing, but all right, that leads it to number one. My number one this week. I don't think anybody had any argument. Star Trek number one. Colin Kelly and Jackson Lanzig, probably the best writing duo in comics today. Ramon Rosanos doing the art. Dude, this was fucking awesome. I don't think Star Trek has ever been as popular as it is now. Okay, there's like 5, maybe 6 ongoing series, including the animated things. They're talking new movies all the time. And the comics are finally catching up. IDW has this license, and they are making this story like an ongoing thing with tie-in series and things like that. Basically, somebody out there is killing gods. And the prophets, the Bajoran prophets in the wormhole, send Cisco out of the celestial temple to stop them. This touches on the crystalline entities.
Oh.
Apparently, the crystalline entities are gods.
Huh.
And it shows them being shattered by some unknown entity, some unknown big bad. And that's where our first issue ends. But really, this is all about the awesome, dude. We get this new ship, the Theseus. Scotty is the engineer on this, which fits into the show continuity. Apparently, this ship has been around for hundreds of years, and they made it modular, where all of the systems are easy in, easy out, so you can constantly update it with the best shit. And of course, they got Scotty in there because he's the best of both worlds. He knows the old shit and he can pick up on the new shit. Data shows up in here. I showed him off earlier. Lieutenant Paris is their navigator, the helmsman. Kira shows up in this, obviously, because Deep Space Nine. Picard has a cameo in this because it was so fucking fun. Anybody who's a Star Trek fan, again, this leans heavy into the nostalgia.
Now, can I ask a question?
Hold on. First episode of Deep Space Nine. Cisco and Picard are there. Cisco goes to Picard, and he's pissed because Picard led the attack on Wolf 359 where Cisco's wife died.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Picard was taken and forced to do things by basically a godly race. You know, the Borg were like gods almost in and of themselves, as advanced as they were, you know, as unique as they were.
I mean, for
But
all
now,
intents and purposes, yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
now that Cisco has been living with the wormhole prophets for all these years, he has a new perspective, a shared perspective with Picard, where I was taken and used by godlike aliens, and now I'm back in the real world. And the way the writers sort of brought those two worlds together was so satisfying for a fucking Star Trek fan. Yeah, I'm 100% in on this. I can't wait for everything, including all the tie-ins. There's going to be massive one-shots for this shit. IDW is going to go all out, and I cannot fucking wait, man. It's really cool that honestly, Star Trek, my first fandom. You know, my dad got me into the original series way, 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 way young, and I'm so happy that Star
You
Trek
never forget your first love.
You never forget your first love. Star Trek is doing so well on screen right now. I just like all of those shows so much. Some of them I just love, but comics are finally catching up. And 2023, man, is going to be an amazing year for Trek comics. And this is where it starts. And I couldn't be happier.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. T, number one book this week.
It was Exterminators number 2, so we already covered it.
So fun.
Yeah, sometimes it's just nice for a comic to be just stupid fun, you know?
Yeah. Can we talk about the fall from grace that New Mutants took this week?
Yeah.
I almost don't want to. You know
I
what
mean,
I mean?
it wasn't bad, but it had this thankless
fell.
job. Like, that last run was amazing. It was
Probably the
top
best run
tier
of New
Krakoa
Mutants.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So, yeah, it's been one of the top tier X books, and it was going to be rough stepping into it, but
yeah,
damn these angsty teens, you know?
Right.
I can't, like, angsty teens are hard to get right for me, and I feel like that last run of New Mutants did a great job with it. Like, angsty, like 20-somethings, angsty teens, but this one just kind of fell flat for me.
Yeah, missed it. Awesome, good choice. Yeah, New Mutants. We'll stick with New Mutants, but it may have moved down into Marauders territory, like in 1 month. So.
Wow.
Dave, number one book of the week.
Before I get to that, can I ask a question about the Star Trek book?
Yeah, of course. You should have done that when I was talking
but
about
you were like, yeah, don't interrupt me. Let me finish.
My bad. I didn't. My bad. Go ahead, dude. For sure.
Okay, so Cisco has been living with the prophets since the end of Deep Space Nine, right? The end of the end of the Dominion War.
It's been a few years. This is before Nemesis. This is still in continuity. Data's still alive, so this is before Nemesis.
Okay, so because I was going to ask if there was like a time travel element, because I thought Tom Paris didn't get back till after Nemesis.
Wow. No. I think you might be mistaken there. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. But even if you are right, they have obviously changed that to where
if they just want to forget Nemesis happened, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Man. I don't mind Nemesis, but you're right. It is the lowest of the TNG movies by far.
Because the Dominion War had already happened by the end of Voyager.
That's right.
And I think that the Federation and the Romulan Empire were on good terms in Nemesis enough. But that kind of swapped when we had like the remake.
That shit gets hairy.
It does.
Gets hairy.
But the thing is that Cisco is part prophet.
He's part prophet, but when he leaves the Celestial Temple, he starts losing that. And they do a really good job throughout that, like him actually talking about time.
Yeah, because the prophets don't necessarily have a concept of linear time.
No, they have no concept of linear time. They're kind of like Dr. Manhattan. They experience all time at the same time.
Guys, we are getting a little too into weeds here.
It's fucking awesome, though, the way they communicate that in this book. Because at one point, Cassidy, his wife, is coming to Deep Space Nine. He's like, no, I'm already with Cassidy and my kid. He's talking to Ben, his son. Ben's talking to, what the hell's the kid's name?
Benjamin.
No, his boy's name, Jake. He's talking to Jake about this, and he's like, "No, Dad, she's not here yet." And he's like, "Oh, sorry, I'm still trying to, we're rid of this fucking weird time thing that I got.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool, dude. It's really cool.
All right.
But anyway, number one.
Lovesick,
of the
number
week.
one. Crazy,
Fucking-
crazy book. I mean,
Man, this book's like, this is the matriarchy going all out against the patriarchy. That's really
Yeah.
the only way I know to describe it without getting into these just brutal details of this book. It's fucking wild.
and the
Wild.
sequential art in this book is beautiful, and the use of color in this book, it's very muted, but
You know?
they use a very limited color palette, but they throw in red when they need to.
Yeah,
And
when
it
it's
is-
bright, it's really meaningful.
is-
And
But there
Wow.
is
no,
there is an element in there where you, like you're saying about, the matriarchy and the patriarchy, but I kind of
Yeah.
feel like there's an element of critique in there of like the online culture with like OnlyFans
Oh, sure.
and all that. There seems to be
Sure.
that kind of critique in there. People hate what she does because she makes the money doing it, but they love her because she does it.
yeah, it's this cool duality, and it's really hard to communicate that through the storytelling, but Vecchio just does it so well in this.
is-
And yeah, it's
It's
really
crazy.
good, dude.
It
Ain't
is-
nobody gonna read this, man. Everybody gonna hate this.
Yeah, I love this.
Everybody I know would be like, no, that's terrible. But
It-
man, I
but
loved it so much.
It is.
It's
It
so
is
fun.
It is. Like another one of them. Another book in the line of like Hit Me.
Yeah, it's like Hit Me. Yeah, it's
So-
very set. I don't even know if we can say it's sex positive. You know what I mean?
I would say that it is more. I wouldn't say sex positive, but it certainly isn't putting.
It's not looking away, you know.
No,
It's not
yeah.
shying away from being sexual at all.
Oh, yeah,
healthy
there-
or otherwise.
Well, I think there's an unhealthy element too, quite an unhealthy
Yeah.
element in there.
Yeah. Tom Finn stopping by. Thanks for hanging out, Tom. We appreciate it. It's going to be a wild ride. If you like this, you should check out Red Room. Is that on Aftershock? Is that a Aftershock book? I don't know if I've ever heard of Red Room, but I definitely want to
That
check
sounds familiar.
it does sound familiar. It does sound familiar. Anyway, awesome. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We really appreciate it. If you like what we're doing, check out what they're doing on the Comic Book Bullies. Leroy and Eli always getting into shit. Man, they are going to be reviewing some horror movies on tonight's episode. You can find them right here on this Facebook channel. I think.
Oh, Red
Otherwise-
Room is from Fangora Graphics.
Oh,
Or
yeah, I bet that's rough.
Fanta Graphics.
Ooh, I bet that's rough. Anyway, if you can't find them, just by looking, go to outrightgeekery.com. If you look there, all the links are there. We got links to that and everything else we be doing. All the social media, all the video outlets, merch, Patreon, want to give us a tip, just a tip. Ed Pisker's new book, The Dude That Did X-Men Grand Design. Dude, I love Ed Pisker. I'm definitely checking out Red Room. That sounds awesome. I love his style. He's got a great style. Again, thanks for hanging out, Tom. We really appreciate it. But yeah, check out the Bullies. Come back. Well, no, I was going to say come back tomorrow. Don't come back tomorrow. Happy Halloween, everybody. Go trick-or-treating, hand out candy to the neighborhood kids. Have an awesome time. We won't be here. We will be back next week with a whole bunch of news and reviews and all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah, definitely, Andy. Everybody have a safe and happy
Happy
Halloween.
Halloween, everyone.
Yeah. But again, thanks for hanging out. But most of all, thanks to these guys for hanging out with this guy.
Always fun.
We appreciate it, and we are going to do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
Kind of switching it up on us there.
Yeah, man. Spin. Feel spin.
I'm glad David didn't wait for you to finish.
He doesn't.
It's insufferable.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.